we can put something beside the space station if we wanted to. And we might just do that. Not yet, but we might just do that. We have balloons that are made of mylar, 180-pound pressure inside of them, and they go up like a rocket. And only that we use is helium and hydrogen to put those up. And there's computer systems, 6 to 9 cameras in each. There's sensors in there to detect signals. I put one up about 2 years ago. It was a gravity array that weighed 8 pounds, and that went up 400,000 feet, and it stayed up 4 months. So we're there. It's not taking us $1 million to launch a rocket, and we can stay there for a while. That information has been compiled electronically and paper. I released some stuff on YouTube, but I'm not releasing all the information because it could be so distorted on that. You know, we want to see what's going on up there. We'll see what our governments are doing. And believe me, it's astonishing what's on that film. Because I thought when I first seen it, and I said, I had all these watermarks on the video, but these watermarks were moving. They weren't round. A lot of them weren't round. A lot of them were different shapes. And I had two of my balloons had radar systems on them that I could go out at least 120 miles and figure out what that was. We don't have any aircraft that fly that fast. And plus, from ground to atmosphere within 28 seconds, it takes 8 minutes a rocket to get into space. And these things are just like highways going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I showed a couple of my people that I was working with, and we just sat there and pretty well cried because we thought it was fake. We thought YouTube was fake. Well, all the different things are fake. But here, that I'm an engineer, I work with electronics, I put really sophisticated cameras together, and it's traffic. We're not alone. Not alone at all. Never was alone. In our history, in our folklore, that said that we're the star people. We come from the star. We're star dust. And the Mi'kmaq are the first nation of the star people. The teachings come from what they left us when they were here. They left us information who they were. Believe me, they're not gone. Do you realize, I just listened to the other person talk, if we got rid of cancer, if we got rid of our diseases, and that's easy enough to do. It says in here that we can do that. If we got rid of all that, we would add another 200 years to our life. Like the ancients. The ancients lived to 1,000 to 1,500 years. One individual. Can you imagine putting up with your brother for 1,500 years? Or sister? You think they talk now? It says it in there that we have that. We have that potential. But that potential is going to be not on one individual, not one spiritual leader. It is going to depend on the communities. That we can get along. We can look one direction and still get along. Still believe what we believe. Christians can get along with Muslims. Muslims can get along, so on. It's in there that we can do that. All we have to do is just look in one direction. And it says it here. And that's the teachings that I've been doing the last 7 years. It teaches us how to do a way to put people together so we can all listen. Spiritual technology. And we've been doing it for the last 7 years, and it's been working. Finally, you asked for this. Find out what the information. We have teachers right now, we're standing by on phones. No, right now are willing to come to your communities to explain this. Go to North Carolina, visit that technology. We have other sites, the Peace Village, proposing one of these resonators to be put up in the Peace Village in Vermont, New York, Washington State. We're here. The invasion has started, but the invasion is kindness. Thank you very much.
Is there a question?
There's a question. Can I ask why a Native American person? Can you turn on running for president? Hang on a sec, I get to mic.
Yes, matter of fact, you had poor Native Americans that were president, part Native, that was there. You might want to look that one up. And I will explain this, and I know that some of us isn't political in here, but in the prophecies it says that there's going to be chaos, and we are in chaos right now, of politics. Do you realize to make change in this world, it's going to have to be some sort of radical change that's going on? I know they don't agree with this president that's here, but he's causing spiritual chaos so we can see, so we can make our own decisions, so we can step forward and do something. You know, I don't agree with everything he does, but making change, isn't it? Sort of bringing awareness. Open thy eyes and you will see the sky. Open the ears, you see the universe. So, yes. I was going to try to run for president this year, but I didn't get my campaign up anyway.
One of the things that is known among all Indian tribes is that in the Sioux Nation, the Lakota world, they're what they call the Heoka, and in the southwestern Pueblo world, they're called the Newegwe or Kushadi. These are the people that are the star people that are tricksters. You've heard the many stories of the tricksters. The trickster's duty is to break all the memes and apply chaos theory. And I belong to the order of the Galaxy Clown Society. It is our duty and our responsibility to straighten out the world when it comes to a egotistical, to become deviation from the order of what the star people had taught us. So we do it by breaking all the memes, by making chaos happen, come over here and destroy everything. Not to destroy mankind, not to destroy concepts, but to put everything back in order. One of the stories of the tricksters is that the coyote is all looked upon as one of the head tricksters. If you look at the old Wile E. Coyote and the Road Runner, who's always getting beat up, it's the coyote and the trickster mentality. What's happening right now is coming from a spiritual, ancient viewpoint. That's what we're going through right now. The head trickster is in charge of the nation right now, and it is going to happen. It is supposed to happen when we get to that point. So we have to straighten it out. We have gone through that many times in our history of the American Indian and all the Aboriginal tribes of the planet. You have to have that. It's a clearinghouse to straighten out everything. And that doesn't, I think a lot of things that they do not understand it, so it becomes a war between one party and the other one, and it's become now to a mudslinging, even shooting each other at this time. I think they have to look at it in terms of spirituality, the technology, social reform, and other ways to straighten out something that is happening. We in our own families, we all go through that. We have in our own groups, we go through that. We have to reorganize, so to speak. So this is what, that's part of our disclosure effort, is that you look at things in a positive direction rather than what everybody says is negative. You gotta go into yourself, and you're the one that decides what is right or wrong. So this is what a lot of our native teachings have always been about. We have a combination of teachers. The combination of teachers are not only from off-planet people, the Star Nation, but also other people that have gone before us, which is the spirit world. In the beginning, technology and spirituality were one and the same. Throughout the course of humankind, the mankind, they separated these two, and man created religion. Religion is primarily for fear and control. All my teachings, all my medicine man teachings, there is not one area where we put fear into anybody's system, nor we do anything that is individual. It's a composite. We are part of the whole. So this is where we are now at this crossroads. If we do not get our act together within the next, starting now and start doing this, we're going to go through another, what the Hopi and the Zunis say, we're going to go into the end of this fourth world. This is considered the fourth world. Look at what other civilizations have gone through. Every 500 years is a breakaway from many civilizations. We're now, America is what is termed the United States of America is now in its 500th year. The American and the Aboriginal tribes have gone through this, they've seen it happen, but they survived. So now the tables are turned. The other people that came to this country centuries ago painted themselves into a corner, and they don't know how to get out of that corner, so they have to depend on not the ancient, but the teachings that have always been in existence, not only in the past, present, but also future. We combine all our thinking. Our thinking is a circular, just like any other system in the universe. So it is now time to talk with each other, listen to some of the things that we have been taught. And like my brother to the right, he's got the information. We have that in our songs, we have that in our prayers. It is not for only past times, not for present times, for the future. I was very amazed when I combined both the technological systems that I had turned in what I call the white man's world. When I went back to pick it up after I got through with it, the ancient teachings were far superior than what I had been taught. And I sort of kicked myself because I said I should have gotten into it earlier. But anyway, that's the journeys that we sometimes take. But this is where we are at right now. I would not be doing this. I would have been sitting under a tree somewhere, meditating, and won't care about the world. But some of us have chosen this, or rather, let me put it this way. We were chosen before we were even born in some of the tasks that we have to do. When I first met the star people, I thought it was something that they taught me or told me to be scared of, or fear, or whatever. It had nothing to do with fear. It was just the teachings that when you get there, this is what's going to happen. So it doesn't make any difference what it is today. We all have that connection, and it is time now to connect with each other and look for that and go back to those things that have always been here with us. When my brother talks about the copper scrolls, they've always been in there. In our system, it's all oral. That's why we continue this every full moon. We repeat the systems. They're very, very complex. I, as a mathematician, tried to do that and categorize in many mathematical models. I could not do it. It was very advanced to the way that we run our lives with a connection throughout the universe. And so this is what we are now at the stage of, to pass this information on so that we can become better with each other, to create the love that is so sorely needed right now, sorely needed, and also to continue to work together with each other. We can no longer do what we have been doing. Absolutely not. Because like I say, we are only here for a moment in time. others will take over. My brother to the right of me, somebody will take over the things that we are doing. But there's always that transition, and we can also divert a lot of these prophecies that were dictated long time ago. And that is what they also said. If you do not do this, will continue to happen. But what if you turn it around, then you can completely go on a different path. And we're at that crossroads right now. So I believe that these are the times and events. There are no accidents. There's a time and place for everything on a universal scale. So with that, I just want to let you know that we are all part of that equation. And we are all part of that whole, we are part of that whole thing that we need to do. And it doesn't make any difference where you come from, what color, what age, whatever. We all have to start doing that together and listen to some of our ancient teachings. Even the songs that we sing every day are part of it. So this is what I am here representing my different nations throughout the planet as Aboriginal people. They still have that knowledge. So we have to learn how to respect that and come back, because now we got to get away from the corner that we painted ourselves into. And we can give you that hand, or maybe just give you more paint. Thank you.
So we have time for one more question. Is that okay? One more? Yeah. One more question. Who's the left? All right.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, relatives, for coming out and sharing this sacred culture that we have in this beautiful Americas. And I'm a strong believer in the 7 generations and the rainbow children coming here to help out and assist in this shift that we're going through. What would you say to the children to lead them in the right direction so we could better ourselves in the future, and just knowing that the children are the future for us?
You want to take that, Dave?
What's the question? Question directed?
Something about the children?
I guess you're gonna have to.
Make it clear, what would you tell the children if you had to tell them something that's gonna help us and help everything just go on the path or on the.
But they brought in knowledge that we're not really aware of, because they're from a different dimensional thinking. And that's one of the things that we're doing with the knowledge that these people have with them, because they're in a confused stage of the way that what I just described, because of the whole chaos things that's happening here on the planet. So they're not paid attention to. So this is what we're doing throughout the countries. We're getting together with those people, those new arrivals with the high order knowledge, and we're telling them about the past, what happened. We're telling them about the present, what's happened, because they have to bring up the speed so they can continue their work. So we have circles like that. It's all about love. It's all about love and sharing. That's what we do.
Okay, thank you so much, Clifford Mahooty and David Sanipass. And they'll be around today, enjoying. What was that? Get away from the speaker. Okay. So next we have the author of Extra Dimensional. His name is John D'Souza, the X-Man.
Stand up.
This is good right here. All right, testing. All right. Thank you. My name is John D'Souza. I'm also known as the X-Man for several reasons that involve the 90s and the show The X-Files. I was an FBI special agent for over 25 years. I worked a lot of well-known terrorism cases, counterterrorism, and also paranormal cases as well. And if you want to see some of those, you would just go to vault.fbi.gov. You can do it right on your phone right now and download all kinds of declassified documents that are pretty interesting and pretty fascinating stuff. Speaking of fascinating stuff, I was just in a great movie some of you may have seen called Above Majestic that was released. Thank you. I've only seen it twice myself, and I got to see it a third time to really, grasp everything in it. But one of the central themes of it is freedom. And the opening quote in Above Majestic is, "Freedom is a heavy load. It is a strange and difficult burden for the spirit to undertake. Freedom is not a gift. It is not free. It is a venture undertaken, not a gift given. And it is a difficult, hard gift, a difficult choice to make as well." So, I'm talking today about meditation to contact extra dimensionals or extraterrestrials, however you want to refer to them. And so, the only way I can talk about these topics is talk about my own experience. I wrote a book called The Extra Dimensionals. That was very popular, and it was basically all of my investigative case files concerning alien visitors, and also the experiences of other famous cases like Travis Walton, Betty and Barney Hill, and many others. And I basically showed with proof and evidence-based material, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that alien visitors, that extraterrestrials are not physical. They are actually from other dimensions. They are not physical. Which is a weird coincidence because all of you are not completely physical either. You are also extra dimensional. So guess what? Ding, ding, ding. You can actually contact extra dimensionals because you yourself are partly extra dimensional in nature as well. It's an interesting coincidence. So let me tell you this. When I wrote my book, The Extra Dimensionals, and I'm going to tell you an experience I call the appearance. It's one that my wife is in the back, and she has not heard this experience yet, and when you hear it, you'll understand why. When I finished writing The Extra Dimensionals, I got to the last 20 pages. And the last 20 pages, what I wanted to write was predictions of what was going to happen in the next few years with extraterrestrials, extra dimensionals. And so I went into like a meditative space, almost like a channeling state, where I had to put myself in the place of the alien visitor's mind in order to come up with what are they going to be doing? How is this going to be coming about in the next few years? And my final 20 pages were predictions of what's going to happen. I predicted that the abduction phenomena will keep increasing to the point where eventually we will see entire towns of people disappearing and possibly coming back. I predicted that we will have alien visitors making contact with us, not on the White House lawn or anything like that, but directly to those of us who are open to their contact. Benevolent alien visitors would be contacting us directly through us and to us, those of us who are here right now. And I made several other predictions about malevolent alien entities that I would rather have you look at yourself because they're a little tough. Anyway, when I finally finished writing those last 20 pages, I was exhausted. And I was in my home, and I just wanted to go to sleep. And I went into my bedroom at my home. My home has a lot of these high bay windows that have no reason to exist except to let in sunlight. And in my bedroom, it's to let in like moonlight. They're like these high square windows that have no purpose except just to let in light. As I finished my last 20 pages of the Extradimensionals and I was exhausted, I went into my bedroom and I had meditated and focused so much upon alien visitors. When I went into my bedroom to go to sleep, on one of my bay windows, square windows, it's about probably like 4 by 4, 5 by 5 feet, and on one of those windows there was an image of a tall gray, probably like from about waist to the top of his head, and he just